Hey guys, Brian Fleming from BuildingSocialProof.com. Hopefully you guys are doing great. You're probably watching this on YouTube or iTunes. Maybe you got an email message and you're watching it on my blog. Well, as always guys, I make these videos on an app called Periscope. And what you can do on your iPhone or Android phone, just go into the App Store and download the Periscope app. When you do that, you can follow me at Building Social. Just put it into Periscope. And what's going to happen is when I go live, your phone's going to tweet and you can just click a button and jump right in and chat real time, ask questions. Periscope is the hottest social network in 2015. It is changing everything, and I want you guys to be a part of it, just like the people here on this scope. As always, guys, I am scoping from a little town called Romeo, Michigan. I'm about 30 miles north of Detroit. Love to have you in on future scopes. We got Lovely Creations. See, she just joined the scope because she's with it. She's on Periscope. But anyway, guys, what we're going to be talking about today is the worst times, the times you absolutely do not want to post to social media. It's from a study I found on social media today. I want to go through those, and let's call bullshit if we think any of those times are wrong, and they also give you the best times to post. Before I forget, guys, you YouTube watchers, November 11th, 8 o'clock p.m., I'm having another Facebook marketing workshop. You know, the last workshop was such a blowout for me. I was hoping like maybe 20 people would show up, but almost 100 live people showed up to the workshop. I got our cinema in New York City or LA. Okay, we got some comments coming in from Periscope, but guys, head over to BuildingSocialProof.com, and when you're there, you can sign up for my next live workshop. It's going to be November 11th, 8 o'clock p.m. Love to see you there. Boy, we're going to be covering a lot of good stuff. I know a lot of people got a ton out of the last one. So let's get to it, guys. I don't want to take too much time, but I found this study here. It was on social media today. It was a study by a company called Sumall. And what they did is they looked at millions and millions of social media posts, and they wanted to find out what's the worst time, the time you don't want to post to social media because no one's on it and your stuff doesn't go anywhere. And then they turned around and did another study, and they said, well, what are the best times? They listed about 5 or 6 platforms. I'm going to go through each one and explain it to you. I think it's very, very interesting to know because it does play a huge factor. Just the time of day you post can make a big difference. So the first one they talked about was Twitter. Oh, our dear Twitter. And what they said about Twitter is the worst time. Hey, that one girl, welcome to our scope. We're talking about the worst and best times to post on social media. So for Twitter, they said the worst time to post on Twitter, and these are Eastern times, is 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., which basically means the middle of the night. So after 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock, the kids go to sleep. Don't worry about posting to Twitter. What's going to happen is there's less people online, and when they wake up in the morning, your tweet's going to be buried down. They're never going to see it. So the worst times we want to avoid on Twitter are between 8 o'clock p.m. and 8 a.m., according to this study. So what's the best time to post on Twitter? The best time, they said, is between 1 and 3 p.m. So I'm going to try that today, guys. I'm going to do some tweets between 1 and 3 p.m., and I'm going to see, do more people see them versus I'm going to set up a tweet to go out at like midnight. Let's see if that one holds true. But kind of makes sense, right? Middle of the night, who the hell is going to be on Twitter anyways? So let's post it during the day. So Twitter, best time 1 to 3, worst time 8 to 8. Next one is Facebook, the 800-pound gorilla, the one I talk about constantly, guys. The trick with Facebook, I'm just going to drop a knowledge bomb here for you. The trick with Facebook, post a lot, at least 5 to 8 times a day throughout the day. Now, these are times you want to avoid on Facebook. No surprise. Don't post between midnight and 8 a.m. You know what? I am hiring an outsourcer to do all my Facebook posting, and that's exactly what I told them. Post up to 10 or 11 at night. Don't post anything between 8 and 12 at night. Start it up in the morning. So just my dumb guess was right. 12 to 8, you don't want to post on Facebook. But the best times to post on Facebook are between 1 and 4 p.m. Eastern time. Very similar to Twitter. 1 to 3, 1 to 4 is a sweet spot. Nighttime and morning, no one's on it. Why bother? Makes sense, right? Google Plus, guys. I've talked a lot about Google Plus. If you guys are on it, great. I'm going to get started up more with Google Plus on something called the Blogger Circle. What about Fridays? This study did not go into days of weeks. It just said time of day. In general on the internet, it is busiest today. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is the busiest times. The weekends are just a different animal depending on the social network you're on. But generally Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on the internet are your biggest days. You should be doing all your stuff. Okay, Google Plus, 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. you want to avoid. So Google Plus, boy, right after dinner time, avoid those guys. And the best time, I don't know why they have this tiny little window of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm going to try that one as soon as this scope's over, around 9:30, 11ish. I'm going to post some stuff on Google Plus and see what it does. One thing I do have to say in all defense about Google Plus is they do bring you traffic. I've got about 2,000 followers on Google Plus, and when I post stuff, I think it's because it gets preferential treatment in their search engine, but it does drive traffic. So Google Plus, I'm going to do some stuff on them later. There's a couple things you can do that take 10 or 15 minutes to get a ton of mileage out of them. I'm going to talk more about them, but I'm not crazy about them, guys, because I don't trust Google. I don't know if Google is committed to Google Plus long term, but for them, 9 a.m. to 11 is the best. 6 to 8, let's avoid them. Pinterest. Guys, I've done worst times. Seem to have missed it. On Google Plus, the worst time is 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. Okay, Instagram. I haven't done a ton on Instagram, guys, but it's kind of the same with them. Stay away from Instagram, 12 at night to 8 in the morning. No one's on it. Kind of makes sense. And the best time to Instagram, they say, is a 1-hour window. If you guys want to try this, if you're on Instagram and report back to me, I'd love to hear it. 5 to 6 p.m., that 1-hour window. Try doing a post 5 to 6 p.m. and then do another one throughout the day and see if that isn't true for you. It seems like a tight window, but give it a try. 5 to 6 p.m. is a sweet spot for Instagram. Avoid it. 2 a.m. don't post to them because no one's going to see them. We got 2 more. We got Pinterest and LinkedIn, guys. For Pinterest, pretty interesting. They said to avoid Pinterest between 1 and 7 a.m. and again avoid it between 5 and 7, which seems kind of strange to avoid those time slots. Now, outside of that, they're saying anytime between 8 and 11 p.m. is the sweet spot for Pinterest. So if you're writing these down, I'm going to put them in a blog post. We could probably figure out what times a day you should post to each social network and come up with a little work stream. That might be kind of cool to do, and I'll probably do that on the blog. The last one they cover is LinkedIn, and LinkedIn, they kind of baffle me on this one. They say the time to avoid LinkedIn is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. when everyone's at work. That seems kind of strange, but then they don't give you a time for when you should post on LinkedIn. I guess it would be the opposite of that. And I guess like all the other ones, you'd want to avoid LinkedIn between 12 and 8 a.m. like the rest. So anyway, guys, I just wrote these notes down. It's a study I found on Social Media Today from Sumall, and I think it does have some validity to things that what about Periscope? What are my thoughts? Well, you know what? It's 8:30 in the morning on Periscope. That's a great question. And I've got a pretty good turnout. I see the same thing with Periscope. In general, on Periscope, people say the best times to scope are between 5 and 8 p.m., but there's a caveat on Periscope. Because you know what? Somebody with a big name that can drive thousands of followers can put their scope up, and everyone leaves your scope to go see theirs. It's called peri-block. So you can get peri-blocked in those times. But you know what? I have found personally, if I do a scope at 5 p.m. versus 4 p.m., the turnout is quite a bit different. So I would say Periscope, 5 to 8, 5 to 9 seems to work best. So anyway, guys, kind of a longer scope today. Hope you got a lot out of this, and I'm going to, on the blog, write these down so we have them, the best times to post. And I think we can all agree the worst times are, the middle of the night. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you again soon.